watching Education News Network, where we get you the latest developments in education at the top of this hour. Today here we are going to discuss about digital age parenting. What is digital age parenting? How do we deal with it? Can I become that parent? I'm sure you guys all might be thinking about several such questions when I talk about digital age parenting. Even I'm thinking the same. So let's invite a team of experts who are going to throw light on this topic and tell us more about what digital age parenting is. So let's welcome our first guest for today. We have Ms. Poonam Kumar with us, who comes with a rich experience of 20 years in the field of education. She has also been associated with some of the prominent brands like Lotus Valley International School in Noida, and she's currently the principal and head of school for the Manthan School, Greater Noida West and Noida.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Our next guest for today is Ms. Priyanka Bhatkoti, who is the principal of Maxfort School, Dwarka, a trainer par excellence, a Cambridge qualified professional who is also keenly involved in assessment of curriculum and development of the CBSE and SCERT.
I'm Priyanka Bhatkoti, principal of Maxfort School, Dwarka, New Delhi. Thank you for calling me.
Our next guest today is Ms. Bhawana Malik, who is the principal of Lovely Public Senior Secondary School. She is the member of CBSE affiliation team. She comes with 28 years of experience as an educationist, and she's also the VP for Delhi Hindustan Scouts and Guides.
Thank you for giving me a chance to have so beautiful people, like-minded people, and I know this session is going to be great.
Our next guest today is Ms. Kiran Dalal, the principal of Bright Scholar Senior Secondary School, Sonipat, an educationist and a former principal of Delhi Public School, Noida.
Thank you, Vibha. Thank you so much.
Last but not the least, let's welcome our last guest for today, Dr. Wilfred, who is the principal and the trustee for St. Peter's School, Panchgani. He has been in education from the year 1991 and comes up with a rich experience of 29 years in the field of education.
Thank you, Vibha. Thank you for having me on the team. Wonderful experience. I think I'm the only Kanaya amongst all the gopis here.
So let's begin with our today's topic, digital age parenting. Let's begin with Poonam, ma'am. Ma'am, what is your take on digital age parenting? Has parenting changed over years, or has parenting really gone different since the schools and teaching and learning has all of a sudden come to a digital platform? So what digital age parenting is all about?
See, if I talk about digital parenting, it's not just about monitoring the control. It's not about what kind of digital platform or games or videos our kids are watching. It's much more than that. So many decisions we have to take about devices, software, apps, games, and that too from the very young age. If I say parenting, digital parenting is not much different from parenting. Parenting is something, which we experience, which we there is nothing, no book actually can teach us parenting. We have to experience it. And the first and foremost rule for parenting is that we must communicate. We must pave the way where kids are able to communicate with us. And here, when we are talking about digital parenting, that communication should be always open. And as the child experiences and reaches to various developmental stages of life, digital parenting also keeps on changing the way parenting changes. So if we are talking about, the kids who are very young, even toddlers, there are apps available, something like potty training apps. So basically we are connected, or we are used to the technology well before even the early years of life of the child starts. If the child enters from age 3 to 8, if I'm saying, the ways or the steps of digital parenting are different. That is the time when the child is going to face technology. It means the system which we are using, that has to be up to date. We have to protect that system because the child is very young. It has to be protected with lots of, I should say, antivirus, anti-spyware, and we need to communicate. And the moment child starts learning with the help of technology, we should use that platform to communicate, to talk, so that the child expresses well on time with the age, and that passage, that path is always open. But as the child grows, say from age 8 to 12 years, the requirement is different. We have to train our kid for the future world. We have to train our kid that they should safeguard their privacy online, and they should ensure that their personal identity is not. We have to actually work through parental control. So many operating systems are available by which we can monitor what exactly child is doing, what kind of apps child is using, what kind of websites child is opening. So this parenting keeps on changing. If I talk about teenagers, our way of parenting changes. We have to give space to the child. We have to ensure that our child is safe. The child is going to enter into the phase of social media, so we are not supposed to interfere, but we should talk rather than stalking them at the age of teenagers. So it changes the way parenting changes. So digital parenting is not exactly, but it is quite similar to the parenting, but we need to experience with the time. And if someone is there to guide us a little bit, everything we can know. The moment you have to put something like Google it, and lots of websites, lots of information is available by which we can equip ourselves. It means along with the kid, we have to educate ourselves, and we have to be role model for them also. For example, if I have put the rule that while on the dinner table we should not talk, that was used to be told when we were kids. But nowadays, if I am the role model, so while eating, I'm not supposed to look into my phone and see, okay, that thing has happened and I am supposed to see it. So if I'm saying I am the role model as a parent, while driving, I cannot reply to any message or any WhatsApp message, or I cannot text. So we have to walk the talk, because kids learn through what they see through us, not what we speak to them. Thank you.
Wonderful, ma'am. That was wonderful listening to you. Moving on to our next panelist, ma'am. We move on to Mrs. Priyanka. Ma'am, could you tell us what is your take on digital age parenting?
All right. Yeah. Vibha, I think I have a very, very simple take for all parents, because I'm a parent too. Young teenagers, and in our school, all our children become our children. Now, when you look at the patterns that are developing, yes, screen time has increased. We are all immersed in a virtual world. There are certain facts that we will have to realize. So there is no choice. When we were growing up, you might have written the essay on benefits of a television, whether it is useful or not useful. Benefits of mobile phone, whether we should have mobile phone or we should not have mobile phones. I think in this day and age, we are over that discussion completely. Mobiles are necessary. Screens will be required for work, for connecting. A television may also be necessary. And in this day and age, we are looking at television to carry distance classes, to reach out to, far-flung areas in India. So every class will have a dedicated channel. That is how MHRD is looking into it. So there are certain things that we have to move on ahead, and we have to adapt. Now, in that adaptability, the more things change, the more they will remain the same. We are human beings. We have certain basic biological DNA out there, where a social setting and a cultural setting is ingrained into the whole system. No matter how much we are present in the virtual world, the real connect will always be important. When we are holding, in schools, we had so many panel discussions of integrating technology. We have integrated technologies and all classes have moved on the online platform. Now everybody is talking about the need to be back in school because so much more can be achieved there. Yes. So we have to walk the middle path. Buddha was right then, that you cannot be in extremes. You can't say I will do totally without screens and internet, or you can't, that will be a very isolationist take on life. You will not be equipping our children, or we will not be equipping ourselves, nor can we say that we will be totally in a tech driven world and forget about real life. So here it will come on to educationists, to parents and to schools, to let everybody do the balancing act. Now how do we do that? There are a couple of thumb rules which are very easy. Look at the way our grandparents led our life. It took a village to raise a child. Similarly, now, only thing is the inhabitants of the village are going to be different. They are going to be peers, the student peers. They will have an equal input into the raising of the child. They are going to be, yes, the parents of the peers who will be influencers into what our children are doing, what their friends are doing, because they're going to move together. It won't be just individual thought. And yes, teachers are going to be the major influencers as role models, because this generation cannot be preached at. We even as grown-ups do not like to be told like sages on stages that do this or do that. We will look at what works. So Zuckerberg will become suddenly an icon out there, or an Elon Musk will come out there. So we need to detect patterns, that what made certain families and generations of families so successful. Look at the part of, you have Bollywood. Look at this, a very popular example. You have generations of actors coming from certain families. What did they practice that they defined acting so well? It became, a family inheritance and legacy passed on from one to the other. There is background academic knowledge. There's a trade, there's an art, there is a skill. And the more you imbibe, the more you practice, the better you become. You have families of doctors of 3 generations, 4 generations. Immense work being done by them. Industrialists spawning industrialists. Teachers having teachers and professors come across. So what was earlier limited to a couple of families, the internet is going to make it available to everybody. It has made it a level playing field. So at this moment in Delhi, our teachers are happily enrolled in edX courses with Harvard. So the children will have so much available. We have to train them into making the right choice at the right time. We can't have a pies in too many fingers. So I have to recognize my context. I'm in Delhi. What is important in Delhi? I need to know the geography of Delhi. I will have to tell my children how to, navigate onto the roads, what norms to take care. The moment they're in Bangalore, we'll have to train them to look into the cultural context of Bangalore, so that you're getting immersed in that. Will you move to New York? Look into respecting what New York is doing, and then surviving and becoming successful. Last but not the least, I won't take away time from the other panelists. The habits of lifestyle, getting up in the morning, having a daily routine. Yes, you may be working with people in New York, their time frames are different, but look into that. Your lifestyle has to accommodate that, not at a cost to your own health. Yes, those things may be available which are packaged, but fresh will always give us greater nutrition. Meditation was good for the body 50 now, will continue to be relevant 50 years ahead, because mindfulness, that's the last takeaway. We will need to become more mindful. Being present here, I can't be thinking of 3 platforms that I am on the internet. I need to belong with the people, so that each one who has brought the intelligence to this discussion, I am able to learn so much here from them. So when Bhavana ma'am spoke of, when Poonam ma'am is speaking, or Dr. Wilfred was giving the introduction to his school, there are so many takeaways for each one of us. So we learn so much from each other. That is what I think we will have to imbibe again and again, and remind ourselves, and feel happy and rejoice in our presences together. That's what the day is. So digital parenting is not just digital, it is also belonging to the real world. A paradoxical statement, but that is the need of the hour. Thank you, Vibha.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful input. Moving on to our next panelist, we have Mrs. Bhavana Malik, who's the principal of Lovely Public Senior Secondary School. Ma'am, can we have your inputs on the digital age parenting? What are your thoughts?
Thank you very much, Poonam ma'am and Priyanka ma'am, for giving me a platform where I can talk. What I have gathered from your talk is that what is the meaning actually? I would say that it is becoming an active parent in child's digital life. Because now this is today, in today's life, we can't say like with pakoda we need a sauce for our students' life or our children life. As she said, there is a potty training. Everything is available on the internet. So now the point is that do we every time have to be a guide only for the children who just keep on tuck 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 tuck, you do this, you do that? As we were young, our parents used to do this thing, no, that okay, 7 baje ke baad ghar se bahar nahi jana. So all kind of the things used to come to us. But what I believe, because I will talk my personal interest and my personal way how I deal my digital children. So I feel that instead of just becoming the guide of them, we should be the role model for them. We have to give them a certain kind, we have to ask them to make a distinction line while they are watching a child who is in class, who is a 14-year-old child. How can I ask him not to watch something which is available, readily available on the internet, and the other children of the same age group is watching that, and they are just discussing all this rubbish in the school? Instead of being a parent, being a role model, I would like to talk to a child. I would like to classify the things, that what is the different, what content he has to pick up and at what level. I still remember when I'm a mother of a grown up children. My daughter is going to marry in next 3 months, and my son is in college. So when my son was in 8th class, suddenly one day there was a mobile and there was some content which I saw and I just sat down. That was my turning point of my parenting. And now I thought, what should I do? Should I go and ask my husband, see, you don't give the time to us and you are doing this, you are doing that? Or I just simply be quiet and let the child float as he wants. Then I thought, okay, this is not the thing. I'm going to talk to my son. So I talked to him and I tried to understand what exactly he is trying to understand through those content. And God bless my son. Even today, I'm very comfortable in discussing many things. And when I go in the classroom, being a principal or being a teacher, whenever I enter in a classroom, I talk the same way as I do with my child. Because for me, what is parenting is that you have to understand the other way also. Of course, you people have come 20 years or 25 years earlier than your son or your daughter or your student. So you have more experience. So you can't say that digital age is their age. Digital age is my age also. If we can all learn how to sit on the Zoom and can talk to each other, this is so beautiful. Earlier, the first meeting I remember, I was not able to connect. I was here, there, and today I simply locked my. I'm very busy, and the message was, "Enjoy your Zoom meeting." So we all are digital, and if we understand and we let our children understand our perspective, then my second Masi. So this Masi is always welcome in my life. The only thing is that if we have, as ma'am said, the communication is most important thing. Communicate. Instead of my daughter tomorrow to check how the potty training is important, I would like if I help her to search that content which is correct and can give it to her. So this is what I understand the meaning of digital parenting, which is I think must be the I don't know. It was all simple way which I have understood. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful input. Moving on to our next panelist, we have Mrs. Kiran Dalal, the principal of Bright Scholar Senior Secondary School, Sonipat. Ma'am, what's your take on the digital age parenting?
Thank you, Vibha. Wonderful listening to all three, Poonam, Bhawana, and Priyanka. It's always good to share our thoughts and views. See, in this digital world, parents are also confused. Many a times they come to the office or they come to school or during the PTMs when they discuss, there are n number of problems, endless problems, and in so many things that we also come across during schooling, during our own reports. When children come and they have some problems, it's not only the problem. We must understand as a parent. My suggestion to the parent is that they must understand the child. So many things are available. The child do not know what is right, what is wrong, as very rightly said by everyone. They do not, and they do not have that type of wisdom also, that what is to be used and what is not to be used. It's not only for the video content. So even when they're studying, suppose if when I can understand if we go back to our own schooling. Remember the books of Lakshmi Singh in biology and the NCRT books. Lakshmi Singh, S. Chand books were introduced at that time, and that was a new introduction, new thing which was coming up. So if we used to compare that content, that was too much. It was so vast that we could not understand what is important, how much to underline, and how many questions to solve, and how many to leave for revision also. So this is the similar example. Now we can say that when children are opening up certain things, suppose they Google some topic, say if simple thing, notice writing in English. So they'll get so many options, they do not know which one is the best one. They can compare, they can find out. So parents' role is, if they are good enough or well versed with the subject, they must understand that yes, if the child is spending time and if the child wants to know something, try discussing that this can be good, this cannot be good. You can pick up this and do not compare more than 5 or more than 6. If you keep comparing, then you'll keep losing time and you will never come to a conclusion. So tell them to be brief, be very selective. The child must hunt and see for very limited things. It should not open every content, that every link which is coming up, keep opening in different window, keep opening in different window. That also, so that means we must educate them how to use this digital content. And in this digital learning, very much sure that screen time has increased. So the health is very important. And because of the screen time, we will see a lot of agitation in children. Their behavior changes. If a child is busy with the screen, doing anything, even if studies or assignments or learning online, then also if you speak to the child, he gets distracted and he will not feel good and may answer you back. So the parents feel very bad. That is, that the child is always busy with this screen, with the mobile or with the laptop or whatever. You have given them iPad or whatever is the gadget. So children are busy with that. And they feel frustrated when they are being disturbed. They're not ready to listen or participate in any of the discussions which are open. So the best part is, keep them with you, be with them, and then try to understand what they are doing. Keep talking to them. They should understand that even if they're disturbing, they have to concentrate on their work. Or the parent can understand the work, what is being assigned, and help them if they can. If they cannot, then they have to understand why the child has become so jittery, or why the child is getting disturbed, or why the child is angry. The child is also not able to understand. He has to cope up with so much of pressure to understand and learn things. So this is one thing which parent must understand, that yes, they must understand the mindset of the child at that time and should react accordingly. Then ethics, moral ethics, that what you must tell them. As a parent, you must inform. If a parent is not well versed with certain things, they can take help of anyone in the family. Chacha, chachi, or a dada, dadi, or anyone who knows about these things and can then Sit with the child, discuss the things, what is best and what is not. As Bhavna madam rightly said, be open to discussions. Discuss anything and everything. Since the child knows everything now, there's nothing good or bad now. There's nothing hidden, there are no secrets. So parents should also understand, they should be mature enough to understand that the child knows everything. His doubts, and let the child discuss the problems and doubts, and the parent can solve them. If this type of friendship or understanding behavior is there, there'll always be a healthy relation between the child and the parent, and child can be very well trained and can be brought up very confidently. Then cyber safety, we must tell them the rules. What is cyber crime and what the child should do and should not do. Do's and don'ts of all digital things. So cyber crime, cyber safety has to be informed to the child. The parent must know about it, they must understand, and then they must inform the child that yes, if you will do this, this can happen. If this is to be done, should be done like this. So all do's and don'ts of the digital content or cyber, whatever cyber safety you call it, cyber safety, we call it cyber crime, it should always be kept in mind, and the child should be made aware of these things. So these are the things which parents should take care. And then again, as very rightly said, that cultural context of the place has to be always kept in mind. Virtual world and the real world, the child must be able to understand the difference between the two. What is this virtual world and what is the reality of life? What the child is, what is the family background of the child, and what they are seeing and where they are comparing. Because it's not only this digital world is not only limited to our own India or our own small places. It's a global platform. So we cannot compare our own values with other countries. We cannot compare and compete with the values. The values of the place has to be intact. So the culture and values has to be kept in mind, and it should be well informed to the child. What is your expectations? As a parent, what do you want from a child? But be open and keep discussing with the children. It's not that we can just say and we keep expecting and do not tell them. The parent has to discuss and has to tell all these things to the child. This is all what I wanted to share as parenting tip for the parents in this digital world. I believe this will be sufficient and helpful to every parent. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much, ma'am. Indeed, it was really, really helpful for the parents who would be watching this. Last but not the least, we'll move on to our last panelist for today, a gentleman who's been patiently waiting for all the ladies to finish. Let's welcome Dr. Wilfred Noronha, who is the principal and trustee for St. Peter's School, Panchgani. Welcome, sir. What's your
Thank you,
take on
Vibha.
digital parenting?
Yeah, now with Priyanka, Bhavana, Kiran, and Poonam having spoken so much, there is very little left for me. So I'll go in a totally different direction altogether and try and connect digital age parenting to parenting itself. Okay, because we've grown up, we had parents who, had similar problems with us when we were growing up as we have with our kids. So I was just trying to, analyze how difficult parenting was in our days when we were kids. At least now with the mobile phones that the kids carry along with them, the parent can immediately call up the friends and find out where the child is. But in our days, believe me, our parents had to run around to locate where we were because we were all over the place. The digital age came about only in the year 1989 when the World Wide Web was launched. Okay, until then, we had parents, we had children, and there were difficulties. So digital age is nothing new. Only thing is what has now happened is we have more of nuclear families than joint families. The advantages was, when in a nuclear family, parents get upset with the kids. The kid has nowhere to go to. At least in our days, when our parents used to get angry with us, we had grandparents and we had uncles and we had aunts to whom we could always run and take solace and be kind of pampered. So times have changed. So parents have to be a little more concerned with how the child will take reprimand in these days and time. So we need to be a little more understanding with our kids. Kids being kids will kind of waver, will try to find, different ways and means of, getting to know their friends, experiment something on the internet. And with all that is available on the net now, it becomes more and more difficult for parents to monitor what the kid is really looking at. So we, as parents, need to be a little more cautious. I'll share my experience of my own family. I have a son and a daughter, and by the time they came into this world, the digital age was already on, and I faced the challenge of raising them up. And of course, being in administration, we needed to have our mobile phones and gadgets along with us to get messages and be connected with people around. So slowly, the children too got addicted to it, and the only way in which we could wean them off was spend quality time with them. So we used to ensure that every evening we would spend an hour and a half with our kids, so they would be connected with us. We would spend time playing with them outdoors. We would take them out on holidays. Vacation time was exclusive vacation time. So that's how we try to get our kids on board. And at home we devised a new technique. Me and my wife, we sat down together. We discussed, and we told our kids that every little thing that you do for the household, you will get points for it. Okay, maybe wash a dish or a cup that you have had something on a glass. So they used to collect the points, and if the brother and sister used to fight amongst them, if the brother hit the sister, okay, minus points. If the sister hit the brother, minus points. So they would collect those points, and then we made it a point that during Christmas, when they wanted gifts and other kind of toys and other things, it was these points that would be used to decide, okay, who gets what. So throughout the year, they would be engaged so much in gaining these points rather than being attracted to those gadgets that were around in the house, that it became so easy. So we as parents in this digital age need to find out for ourselves what our children's strengths are, what will keep them attracted, how I will be able to engage my kid in doing the right things, talk to them more often, because when you talk to them, they will relate to you. Okay, if we disconnect from our children, they will not tell us their problems, but they will try to find those solutions from outside people, and we don't know whether the outside people will give them the right direction. They can lead them more astray, and that's the reason why many children are getting into addiction. Many children are going wayward, and all this is happening basically because there is no connect with the family, there is no connect with the parents. And every time the child comes to the parent with a problem, it's, this is a all time nonsense that you come to me with. So I have no time for this kind of a discussion. So we as parents need to really ensure that in this digital age that we are in, we ourselves remain a little disconnected from all the digital gadgets that we have. Spend some quality time with our kids, try to understand their emotions. Very few people whom they can call their own today around them. Unlike our childhood, when we had a lot more people whom we could call our own around us, be there for us. They don't. And therefore we need to be that all and sundry for them. So that's how we need to take the digital age parenting forward. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely, Dr. Noronha. I completely agree with you on that. On that note, I have a question. Poonam ma'am, what do you think that, earlier when the digital age was not there, and where, we had we used to interact with our parents for the little things, or as Dr. Noronha said, that, the bonding between a brother and a sister, or the points that has been given for the Christmas gift or something like that. Was that the really nice time that we had as a memory of a childhood, or the digital age has completely changed the parenting now? What's your take on that, ma'am?
Yeah. See, I agree with Dr. Wilfred. See, because of the technology, somehow, somewhere, that social gap has come up, right? And we need to fill it. Nothing, no technology can fill or can replace that social interaction which is required. If I talk about kids when they come to school, they just not come there for studying. They come to school for socializing. They come to school for chatting. They come there to interact with others. And there are a number of things which we learn. But at the same time, as Priyanka said, it has to be the blended approach. We have to mix the normal life with the technology. And For that, we need to make our kids smart. We need to make our kids safe. So time definitely, whenever we try to remember anything, we remember those time when people used to spend time with us. वो नानी दादी की कहानी सुनना, जो relation हमें तब का याद है, वो हमें अभी तक बात है. But technology helps also. If I have the recording of that storytelling, that recording also not only I will cherish, but also the generations to come will also cherish those moments. So at some places, technology also help us in preserving those memories, the memories which we have developed on one-to-one basis. Those memories are only for me, but for my generation, technology is a tool which helps us in preserving. But to ensure the safety of the kids, it is important that we teach our child to be smart. When I say smart, then I have to teach my kid that my child should be safe. S stands for safe, and he will stay safe if I have taught them from the very beginning that the child should never ever share his or her personal information on the social media. M stands for meeting, right? So the person who is available virtually, my child should be sensible enough that he should not be meeting anyone which whom he or she is meeting only virtually or talking virtually. A stands for accepting. I have to develop that kind of discerning ability in the mind of my child, where I have to talk, right? All the mails which are coming in my mailbox, we should not open it. Any instant message, if it is popping up on my message box, I should not reply to them. So that kind of discerning developed. R stands for reliable. The people whom I am meeting online or virtually, is everyone reliable? Is everyone the same person who is talking to me? And T is tell. Tell someone adult. Tell someone, and that mode of communication should be always open. If someone is making my child uncomfortable, if my child is not okay by interacting or talking or sharing his or her information with the other person, that channel of communication is open, and being an adult, my child should be able to come to me, should be able to open his or her heart to me, and we should be standing there for the child by being not judgmental about what the child has done, but being adult, I should be always supportive. So for me, technology is important because it helps me in moving the life, in moving with the same pace by which the world is moving, and it also helps me in preserving my memories. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. As Poonam ma'am just said that we are missing out on the little happinesses of life, like we had the nani dadi ki kahani and stuff like that. So, Priyanka ma'am, what do you think that is digital age really hampering those little joys that we as kids have had?
I think, Viva, I will interpret it a little differently. Every generation has different takes on life. We grew up at a time where to get a scooter, you had to reserve or block a number. It took years before you were granted the permission to buy a scooter. At this moment, if you have the funds and the IDs in place, you go, you can buy from a Maserati to an aircraft in 30 minutes. Yeah. So our children are born with choices. Let's recognize this part. And choices can be good provided we know how to make the right choices. Yeah. So there is a pleasure in digital shopping because you don't have to go in the crowds. And even if there is a lockdown, you can order your groceries online and it gets delivered to your doorstep. You're saving time. So that time maybe can be with the family as long as you're not bored with each other. So we need to find interesting things, like Dr. Wilfred said so nicely, that here we have to channelize that energy in the right direction. Now, every age, every decade, every year will have a new set of challenges and great discoveries being made. So each one is exercising at their own mats instead of being at the gyms. So we have been so generous. Organizations have opened their doors to all their learning. Your gyms and those activities, etc., are made free for everybody, which you had to pay a packet. Now, provided you have the discipline to be able to use it and also the strength to digest it, you can't overdo or go for an overkill. You have to recognize your boundaries. So there will be pleasures of some other sort. Now, if there is a disconnect because of the screens and the digital age, there is also a connect. I'm able to find out my long lost classmates because I started to belong to the CJF, the Convent of Jesus and Mary groups. Now, to do that 30 years would have been unthinkable. I can connect with my friend who is in Ottawa, who is in Sydney, my students, my relatives who are across the world at a drop of a button. And it has become so easy, convenient. So there is a greater degree of interconnectedness also. But at the same time, what I would like to stress on and bring is that we need to respect our boundaries. Look at the convenience of the other, respect the other person who is across, and just because we have a tool does not mean that it has to be used indiscriminately. Also, the wonderful pleasures that Poonam ma'am spoke about and Sir spoke about, that we had all our relatives to take up for us. I come from a family, a great big joint family, where the cousins, we had a team of 17. So there, the elder brothers and sisters were taking up for the younger ones. We were never the culprits because we were to be protected. They were taking on the role of parenting, and we learned so much through them. How to be respectful for elders, how to find the midway and win them over to convince them for that one treat that we wanted. There were no dominoes, there were no Pizza Huts. So a samosa or a pakoda party had also needed that the whole family come onto it, and it gets organized in the kitchen with all the ladies schooling in. Christmas. So the cousins who knew how to make donuts, etc., were prized cousins. We were trying to win over brownie points with them, so we get a bigger share of those brownies and banana breads which were being baked because it was not so easily available in the market. So I look forward to those memories. We look forward to creating similar memories in present day context. And wherever there are feelings, let us not forget, wherever something is done with a lot of feeling, with a lot of dedication, and with a lot of sincerity and love, it will translate across screens. When teachers love their students know that that student will work to define and make that teacher's teaching successful. When parents show unconditional love to their children, that love which is not linked to an admission in an IIT or an IIM or one school which is prized in that city, or the 90% or an A plus grade, a love that you came into our family because you were the right one who belonged to us, who defined us out there. If that is reiterated again and again, I'm sure each one of our students and our children will go and create a better world than we gave to them. And that is what I think we should all be holding hands towards creating. Now, this is a great age to create. So much can be made and done in such short time because you're cutting through the clutter. So just we need to declutter, keep our focus very clear. Our goal is that our children become resilient. We just give these habits of mind, the children will run the marathon for us and be winners all the way. So that's how I look towards it.
Absolutely, absolutely, ma'am. That was a wonderful thought. On that happy note, moving on towards more serious discussion. Recently, there was a news in the news segment where we said that a teacher just shut the digital classes that was being conducted because of parent bullying. If such kind of things are happening when the teacher is taking an extra effort or making that going that extra mile to teach your child, what kind of digital age parenting are we talking about? Bhavna ma'am, what's your take on that?
Okay, first of all, thank you, Priyanka ma'am, for reminding me my cousin, 5 people, and an evening with jalebis and pakoras. But of course, this is a very serious note, Vibha, what you just said. I would like to share with you that last year we were actually we were giving this digital content from last 2 years in our school. So when lockdown happened, it was nothing new for us. We were already giving it. And in nursery class, there was one of the parent. He was an EWS parent, and he tried to send some very bad personal notes to the teacher about the appearance and all. So now I took up that challenge, and I called up that husband and wife both in my office. And maybe because he had some kind of a habit, the female told me about this, the wife. So I personally made arrangements for his counseling sessions, and then in the end it was sorted. But of course it's really very very serious kind of a thing. I think here, being a teacher, I think we have to, like, we had one edge. We had our three edge. So I think now three edge is different. We patiently have to give our heart to that situation. We have to hear it for the second, and third, we should always be ready for the giving the help. The as Kiran ma'am said, today's world, nothing is good and nothing is bad. If we go to the different kind of the net channels which are coming, the prime and all those, and if we go to that content what the people are paroso, so this can change not even the mind of a child but anybody who is of any age. So here we actually have to, I would say that we are sitting just on a tip. What actually is the problem? We are just on the tip of it. It's very, very, very big, like an iceberg. So we need to have a patience in our heart to listen to solve all those kinds. Obviously, we have to keep ourselves ready. That is why a few days back, everybody, maybe Kiran ma'am also, Priyanka ma'am also, you all must have got some kind of the digital content is coming, that when we are on the Zoom classes or something else, how we have to take care, what at what level we have to go. These all important security points are very important, and we have to be very very careful once we are using these mediums. Everything, every good thing can have a bad thing also. First of all, we have to make it ourselves clear that at what content or at what level which content is good for us, and where we need to modify it to become the good. That's my personal opinion. I feel it's you would understand what I want to say.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, ma'am, on your inputs on that. Dr. Wilfred, what do you think? If parents start bullying teachers on digital platform like this, what kind of digital age parenting are we talking about? What is the child learning from that parent?
Okay, having come to know about this already, since this was on WhatsApp and social media, and how some of the teachers have boycotted doing the online classes, I have already communicated with my parents. Since ours is a boarding school, the only means of communicating with our parents is through messaging or through emails. So I've already written to my parents about this kind of a behavior and cautioned them against this. I've told them that they can be seated with their children while the lessons are on to ensure that the child is paying attention. And if at all the parent feels that the teacher is not really up to the mark, it is not fair for the parent to discuss it with another parent. The parent can feel free to mention it to me, so I can take this matter up with the teacher concerned and guide the teacher into doing things the right way. But I do not want any parent, spreading the news around of what that parent has felt about the teacher. It's not right. Your personal feeling stays with you.
Absolutely.
You can at the most communicate with the principal of the school, who will then take it up with the teacher concerned and rectify if at all there is any all, there seems to be a genuine problem. So that I have taken care of. And to the teachers, we are like the ship on an ocean. No matter how much of water is all around us, we could still sail through. We will only sink if we allow that water around us to get into us. So 10 people, 10 parents will talk 10 things about us, the way we come across on screen. Maybe I may not have a very good personality and I may look very ugly on screen. That's not what the parent is there for. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what matters is how the teacher is delivering the content. The teacher's pronunciation may not be very good. Okay, the teacher's diction may not be good, but that does not take away from the way the teacher is teaching that content. Whether the child is understanding that matter is what is ultimately important. And therefore, as teachers, we should not allow that water or that kind of negativity to get inside us. Just be devoid of that. You continue doing your work as you did in your classroom. Ignore that there are 10 other eyes watching you while you're doing your lesson. You just concentrate on that one child or the 40 children that you are communicating to. And I'm sure we as teachers will be able to do a wonderful job. And this is what I'm going to do with my teachers tomorrow. I'm having a webinar with them, telling them exactly this, that this is how they need to take matters into their hand. Okay, this is the new norm now. We had never expected these things to come up. But fortunately, we have this digital medium and we should be thankful that we can at least take our classes this way. If not, if the digital age had not ushered in, probably we would be all sitting indoors and behind closed windows and doors. Education would have been, left alone. There would be no education.
Yeah.
But we should be thankful. We should use this medium and use it well. And
Absolutely.
that's how we need to take this matter in our hands and give that confidence and motivate our teachers to put their best foot forward and ignore all the negativity that may come along with it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Wilfred.
If you allow me.
On that note, last but not the least, we'll move on to our last question. Mrs. Priyanka, what do you think? What is that one message that you would like to give to our digital aged parents?
I think this is what I always give to my parents in the orientation also. And I try to live by that, children are our biggest assets. There is no person who is more precious to a parent or to a teacher in a class. Our buildings are secondary, our infrastructure is secondary. And if we rejoice in their presence and what they bring to a class, I think this generation is very, very mature for their age. They are very discerning. They are able to make out the difference between who is speaking with a connect, with a purpose for their betterment, and where it is a political agenda. They need to be respected, and if we can respect what they bring into our lives, I'm sure there is no challenge which cannot be overcome. Those challenges then become roads and milestones for us to bring greater success. And we need to have faith in ourselves at all points of time. Parents, you always will know instinctively what is right for their child and what is not right for the child. We do not go by the gimmicks. We do not go by the advertisement world. We don't go by that what is most expensive will be the best thing for the child. We go by with our presence. And if our presence is there in the children's life, our children will be very strong and can face any challenge and come true winners always. So
thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful talking to all of you all. You guys have been really, really informative on the digital age parenting. And I'm sure once this video goes out once this goes out for the parents to actually watch it, it's going to be really, really helpful for them to cope up with their stress that they're coming across because of the digitalization of school. Thank you so much. Thanks for being a part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Vibha.
Thank you,
have
Vibha.
given
Thank you,
us a
Vibha. Thank you so
chance
much.
to talk
Thank
about a very, very valid this time. It is something we can't ignore the digital world also, and being a parent, because at this time the parent itself is a teacher also at home. So both the
Absolutely.
roles they people are playing, and a teacher being a teacher is teacher, but because she's at home, she has to manage, she has to balance her life also along with that. So it's beautiful. It was a beautiful concept on which you have given us all a chance to speak. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You guys will
Vibha,
definitely
if I may,
get a
Vibha,
clipping.
if I may say
Yes,
something.
sir. Yes,
It
sir.
was
Please go ahead.
wonderful.
Yeah, on behalf of all of us, Priyanka, Poonam, Kiran, Bhawana, I want to extend a vote of thanks to your entire team for giving us this opportunity to, express our views and take it to a lot of people who will benefit probably from what we have spoken and what we have shared. Big thanks to Mr. Anil Sharma, who I'm sure is also behind all this, and he being his
Absolutely, sir.
right hand. Okay, so thank you so much. It's been really wonderful.
Thank you,
And
sir.
for some of the thoughts that Priyanka and Poonam shared, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vibha,
Thank you
one
so
thing
much.
before we end up there, can you give me just 1 minute?
Yes,
Hello,
yes,
hello,
yes.
Vibha.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Just one thing I want to add. If for the parents, this is for the parents, anything that comes into the notice of the parent also. See, now we were talking about parents commenting something like this on teachers. Many a times what happens, even the students do it. So
Yes.
if it is
Yes,
comes to the
yes.
notice of the
You are
parents,
right.
the parents should not be ignorant. They should immediately take
Yes,
note of it
absolutely.
and attend to that problem. So as a parent, it becomes the responsibility of the parent that yes, let's teach them some morals, some values and some ethics. The children should be taken care of.
Absolutely,
Otherwise,
ma'am. Absolutely.
mindset is trained and then it becomes a problem later on in the life. So as a parent, they should be more cautious and conscious that yes.
Definitely. Definitely, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
I guess once
Thank you.
this video goes out, I guess parents will be more cautious about how they behave with their teachers, and that's how the kids also tend to behave once when the parents have discussion at home about the teacher, and the respect level goes down. Once they understand this concept, I think so the behavior would definitely change. And this video, this conversation that we are having would definitely bring a lot of change with a lot of parents.
Let's hope for the best.
Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so
We
much.
are
It was
also-
wonderful talking
Thank
to all
you.
of
Wish
you.
you all
Thank
good
you,
health.
everybody.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Thank you, all the
Have a
parents.
wonderful day and be
It
safe.
was a
Be
wonderful
safe.
day. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
The discussion that we just had some time back, I guess that has solved and answered all our queries on digital parenting, the pros and cons of digital parenting, and how does digital parenting actually benefit and work. For more such videos on interesting and current topics, do log on to theENN.com and do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. For now, signing off, Vibha Raj.